fraud network, really, where they were stealing people's identities, buying guns. There was illegal drugs inside, counterfeit money. I mean, wow, it was just a lot. I think you made the streets a lot safer today after picking this stuff up.
Well, the ring goes a lot deeper than most people would anticipate. We're starting with mail fraud. We're talking about a lot of mail theft, which was brought in through this mail. These thousands of pieces of mail that people's identifications were being created, Social Security cards, checks, and then those were being used to purchase high dollar items. We're talking about vehicles, we're talking about weapons, as you see behind me here. This particular residence that they were staying in, this Airbnb, was $650 a night. This is the type of operation that we had going on.
That's a lot of money. Okay, so we've arrested a few folks, right? And from what I've been hearing around here today is a lot of them are very familiar with the Harris County Jail.
That is correct. Actually, there were 3 arrests made this morning, but there's also several other warrants, and this is where we need the public's help. We have several people that are still out there that we need to be able to bring and put in custody to be able to tie this ring up and to see exactly how far it goes.
Okay.
I think it's very safe to say that there are hundreds and hundreds of innocent victims whose, through their mail theft, have been compromised through their credit or their identification. So we need the public's help in identifying and locating 3 people.
Okay.
The first is a Patrick Fing. Patrick Fing is wanted for engaging in organized criminal activity. Also a Dominic or Jermel Elkins, known on the street as Swag. He has the same outstanding charge, but he also has a second felony charge of burglary with intent to commit another felony. And then 2 additional people. The first one is going to be Megan Turner. She also has the charge of engaging in organized criminal activity. And the 4th person we're looking for is Tania Moore with the same charges. Now, there is another suspect out there that we would like to get some help being able to identify, and this is a person who we call Anthony or Dustin Nelson. We believe Dustin to be the person who is the person on the street who actually begins this whole ring by stealing the mail. We're talking about thousands of pieces of mail that are being brought in and cultivated through to be able to determine what type of fraud can be perpetuated on so many of our residents.
Yeah, you must be proud of your investigators.
Absolutely. They took this from the very beginning with the Postal Service. They had numerous charges that they could have jumped on earlier, but what they did was they followed the leads on this. And every turn that we made, it kept getting deeper and deeper. And as you can see, I think we're probably just looking at the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, what do you think they were going to do with all this stuff? Or do you have any idea?
Well, we really don't know. We don't know if these weapons were going to be turned around and sold on the black market for cash, or whether or not he was building an arsenal. We have no idea. We did have 3 keys of methamphetamine. And so you're talking about drugs, you're talking about weapons, you're talking about a tremendous amount of identity fraud. We're talking about machines, $10,000 printers that are being used to create these fraudulent documents, and then of course turned around and cashing checks. A stack of checks probably 3/4 of an inch high. One of them, the top one, was over $22,000, and these are being cashed, and this money is being used for, we don't know yet. But we're going to follow those leads. We're going to go down that rabbit hole, and we're going to see where it leads.
So are you going to contact victims?
Yes.
In this case?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we will. The
Yeah.
victims, as many of these victims as we can, we will be following through to see whether or not their credit has been compromised. Some of the IDs that were made are actually people that they work with. So they would take the information, the physical information, and tie it to the pictures of people that were in their ring, and they would go as far as they could with that particular identity until it got shut down.
All right, just one last question. I mean, some of these guns I've never seen before. These are very unusual. Looks like high dollar weapons.
Well, there are some of these weapons are $10,000 guns. And they're not what we use to go out and hunt with. They're not what you would be carrying on, at least law enforcement officers. We're not carrying them on our sides. So it's really interesting to know what they were going to be doing with these guns.